Mrs. Mostett here. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me again today. So readers, you've been doing the hard work of reading nonfiction text. You may have even read some narrative nonfiction texts where we're learning new facts and information, but we're also following the story of a person just like we would follow a character in a book. So readers, one way that nonfiction gets tricky is with the vocabulary that's used and the words that are used. And so today I want to teach you that readers build word power. And so if we're able to better understand the tricky words in what we're reading, we're going to better understand the text as a whole. So the first thing that we want to do is preview the page and find tricky words. And then we can think, what could that mean? So readers, as we were reading this text yesterday, Fighters for Our Rights, I noticed that the text used the word suffragist a few times. So let me show you how the word's being used in the context of the sentence. It says, so she decided to join the suffragist cause to help women get the right to vote. Then it also says, Paul went to England. She worked alongside women and men, suffragists, who supported the right of women to vote. And then another way that it's used is it says, Alice Paul admired how the English suffragists made their opinions known in an active way. So I'm thinking that it probably has something to do with the rights to vote, based on the fact that it's talking about this cause or like a movement to help women get the right to vote. It also talks about men and women who support the right to vote, and how she's pushing people to be more like those in England that are also fighting for the right to vote. So I'm thinking maybe a suffragist is somebody that's part of that movement and somebody that stands up for others' rights to vote. So now that we have an idea of what we think it means, the next step is to read on, think, and check, because we want to make sure that we're accurate in our thinking. So one way that we can think about it is to think, how does the word fit with the title, and how does the word fit with what's happening? Okay, so if I think the word suffragist is somebody that is an activist for voting rights, let's see if that fits with the title of our text. Well, the title is Fighters for Our Rights. So readers, would that fit? Definitely. And then when I think about what's happening in the text, when we followed almost like that storyline of what happened with Alice and how there was a problem, the problem got worse, and then there was finally a solution, that problem and solution revolved all around getting white women the right to vote with the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. So I think that that also fits with what's happening. So now let's do some more thinking. Another way that you can think about it to check is it a positive or negative word, feeling, or tone? Sometimes our tricky words have a more positive or a negative tone or feeling, and that can help us decide whether or not what we think it means is correct. Well, when we read about the word suffragist in this context, it doesn't necessarily feel negative to me. Does it feel negative to you? Not really. In fact, it's talking about how they're supporting the right of women to vote and how they want to be a certain way. And so I think it goes more on the positive end of things. So I still think that that matches our idea that suffragists could be about getting rights to vote, or people that even support that. So now we want to think, what does the tricky word tell you about? Well, let's look back at the text again and see. It says, so she decided to join the suffragist cause to help women get the right to vote. So she decided to join some type of movement to get women the right to vote. And then it said she worked alongside women and men suffragists who supported the right of women to vote. So it's telling me all about these people who worked together to get women the right to vote. And you know, I'm noticing too that it has this ist at the end of it. And I know a lot of times when we have that ending, that affix at the end, it means that it's a type of person. The first thing that comes to mind is dentist. It's a dental person. So that ist is a big clue that it's like a type of person. So I think that a suffragist is somebody that advocates for the right to vote. What do you guys think? Okay, so now our last step, now that we have an idea of what we think it means, is to find a synonym or a phrase that fits in the sentence so that we can check it and see that our definition is correct. So if we're saying that a suffragist is a person that's fighting or advocating for the right to vote, let's fit that in and see if that actually fits. So she decided to join the people advocating for the right to vote to help women get the right to vote. Okay, that's really wordy. It's not a great sentence, but does it make sense? I think so. Okay, let's try it with this one. She worked alongside women and men who fought for the right to vote, who supported the right of women to vote. So it sounds like suffrage is a synonym for the phrase, a person that fights for the right to vote. So then your last step at that point would be you could go to a digital means, like if we wanted to go to Google Dictionary, and then we could type in the word suffragist just to check at the end. But notice, readers, that we used all of our strategies and our word power to try to figure it out first. Oops, I was going to type strategies. I don't think I spelled it correctly. There we go. Okay, historical, it's a noun, so it's a person, place or thing. A person advocating or fighting that the right to vote be extended to more people, especially women. So readers, how did we do? We figured it out. So readers, as you go off today, I invite you to think about those tricky words and build your word power. Think, what could it mean? And then read on, think, and check. How does it fit with a title and with what's happening? Is it a positive or negative word or feeling? What does the tricky word tell you about? And then check it by finding a synonym or phrase that fits in the sentence. And then after all that, if you still need to look it up, then you are welcome to do so. All right, readers, I invite you to give that a try today. Happy reading.